All right, ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to talk about fly tying vices. I figure since winter is coming quickly, we'll do some videos based on fly tying. I know a lot of people like to tie flies instead of fishing during the winter. I like to try to fish all winter, if the conditions are conducive. I can usually catch trout all winter long around here where we live, and I do like tying flies, don't get me wrong, but I would much rather fish. But maybe you live somewhere where you don't have that option. So we're going to do a couple fly tying videos, couple tool videos, vices, etc. Specifically today, I want to talk about something that confused me a bit when I started getting into fly tying, and that's what a rotary vise really is. So this is my Dyna King Barracuda. This is a rotary vise, and the reason it's considered a rotary vise is basically because of its design. The way you have this bent arm and adjustability here. The idea is when you put a hook in the jaws of this vise, the shank of the hook should line up with this axis. So this is a Gamakatsu, it's a B10S stinger hook. These are very popular streamer hooks. I use these for a lot of things. And they're a great hook. But that's neither here nor there. So you have this hook, and the idea is that you line it up with this axis so that when you rotate it, that hook shank will stay in the exact same place no matter what. No matter how you rotate it. See if I can show you this from this angle. It's going to be very hard to do this well, but you can see the eye of the hook stays in almost exactly the same spot as I rotate it. And that is why a rotary vise is helpful. Because if you want to use the rotation of the vise to apply materials, that hook shank is in the exact same spot. Now the difference between this and a regular vise that rotates, let me show you. This is an Apex from Wolf. And this vise is just like, I bought it because I found it cheap. And I was like, oh yeah, they're supposed to be pretty nice. I really don't like it. I really don't like it at all, actually. It's just a pain to use. Pain to get right, and nothing about it's intuitive, and it's not enjoyable to use. There we go. So you can see the shank of this hook, even though it's tilted a little, is way above this axis of where the vise could rotate. So while this vise does rotate, it is not a rotary vise. So if I show you like I did with the other vise, see the eye of the hook. See, the eye spins around in a big circle. It doesn't stay stationary, or relatively close to stationary. So that is what makes a true rotary vise, is keeping that hook shank in one stationary plane. Let me show you. Man, I just like this vise. Let me show you why you might want to do that. Get rid of that Gamakatsu. I tied the beginning of a woolly bugger. This is just a marabou tail and a little bit of dubbing in the further body. You can make a woolly bugger out of pretty much anything you want. Not that we're here to talk about woolly buggers, but if you haven't, Kelly Gallup has a great video about stacking marabou to make tails, not just for woolly buggers, but for anything. So now we've got this fly in here. Try to line it up with that axis. And why you would want to use a rotary vise to apply material, I'm going to show you. I know this is a janky looking woolly bugger. Just imagine that it's nice looking. Some people are very reliant on a rotary vise to add materials to a fly. I personally take it or leave it. It's like, I understand the advantages, but I don't need it. So I decided to use a different colored hackle so you can see the contrast instead of using something olive, which might be a wiser choice for a woolly bugger. But we're going to rotate the fly in the vise instead of pulling the hackle around the woolly bugger like you would when you'd normally tie a woolly bugger. So that's how and why you might want a rotary vise. And now I'm blocking blocking everything I'm doing so you can't see anything. Just trying to tie this hackle off. Maybe. There we go. Yep. So if you are someone that likes to, I don't know, you apply a lot of things that go around the shank of a hook or around a fly, maybe a rotary vise is something you would like. Got my thread inside this hook eye. This is not too bright. So they're not for everyone. You don't need one. Just the aspect of being able... Oh, this is so ugly. I'm going to trap all this hackle down. Oh my gosh. Look away. Just the ability to take and roll your fly over and have it sit in the same plane is something that I really like. Because, let's say you're working on something like a Clouser minnow. With a vise like this, you need to take that fly out, turn it upside down, reclamp that fly to tie the bottom in. With a true rotary vise, you just flip it upside down and keep working. So, while it's, again, not something that everyone needs, I can see having a preference for it. I definitely do. Now, that isn't to say that there aren't very, very nice vises that aren't true rotary vises. Dynaking actually makes quite a few vises. A lot of people use Dynaking vises that are not rotary vises just because they lock flies down. I have never seen anything lock a hook down like a Dynaking vise. Like, it is just... And the cool thing is, like, it doesn't take a ton of force to put a fly into the vise, but once it's in there, it just... Like, that's a number 4 hook. I could probably bend that bad boy. I definitely could. So there are very nice vises that are not rotary vises. Regal, they're Dynakings. Peak actually makes a non-rotary vise. That is, by all, I haven't used it, but by all accounts, it's very nice. So it is definitely a matter of preference, but what makes the difference is being able to maintain this axis with the shank of the hook here. So that's the difference between a true rotary vise and a vise that rotates.